This week on the show, we're going to cover eBay's June seller update, Poshmark drops their verified seller program, and eBay back charges for a bunch of promoted listings. What is up, Galaxians? Welcome to episode number 300. Of the Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. My name is Ryan. If you had told me 5 years ago that I would get to 300 of these, plus however many other like special episodes and shorts and whatever, I'm coming up on 900 or 1,000 videos on this channel, which is just crazy to me. But it has been quite a journey, and we are now at number 300. This is going to be a fairly short one. I don't have a What Sold recap for you this week. If you follow me over on Instagram at Galaxy CDs Rocks, you'll note that last week was not a particularly fantastic week here at the Galaxy. I spent, we'll just talk about it a little bit, the first 4 days of the eBay 15% off promotion, not running any of my normal monthly promotions. I did talk about this over on Instagram as well. I was just relying on that eBay promotion for the first 4 days of the week. And it was, where's my sound effect? A ghost town. Worst 4-day stretch I've had on eBay in many, many years. I had one day where I had 3 sales, another day where I had 4. Just really, really not an effective program. So on Friday morning, I went in and started my normal monthly clearance cadence where I run older inventory at anywhere from 20 to sometimes as much as 60 or 70% off. I kept in mind the fact that there was a 15% discount coupon available from eBay was going to be good through the 8th. So I kind of accounted for that in my discounts. I ran, I think, 20 through 40%. So if someone wanted to take advantage of that and then add the 15% off coupon, I would still be able to make a little bit of profit. And lo and behold, within 8 hours of that happening, I had 18 sales, which was better than any 2 days back-to-back had been during the 4-day window I had been trying just the eBay promotion program. So that is not a program. I guess I don't want to say it's a program that I won't try again. I probably will do it again, but I won't do it to the exclusion of all of the other offers that I usually go ahead and do. I'll use it in conjunction with that and do the math accordingly like I did on Friday, because it certainly seems as though, at least in my case, running those markdown promotions through the marketing tab is very, very effective at driving traffic and driving business. Of the 18 sales that I did during that window, 13 of them were actually regular price sales. Now, they'll have the 15% off coupon, I assume, but they were not actually items that were included in my markdown. It was just extra business. So something about that seemed to trigger some activity. It's still in all going to be a pretty poor week here at the Galaxy, but I have recovered a little bit coming into the weekend. So it's not a complete disaster. So there's your update on that. I told you I would keep you apprised of how that was going, and it did not go well. And like I said, it's something that I might do again in the future, but I would certainly do it in a very different way. That said, no What Sold recap this week. I'll save the handful of items that are worth talking about until next week. But let's get into this reselling news.
News updates.
So eBay dropped their June seller news. This is their new kind of monthly cadence with news updates for things that they're either bringing out or have already brought out. In this case, some of them are things that they had already done and they are just continuing to roll out. Discover the new Seller Hub overview. They've been talking about this one for a while now. And many people noticed last week that when they went into their Seller Hub, it was a different look to the hub. I know in my case, I think it was on Wednesday, all of the little sections that normally were laid out in a very specific way had all been moved around. I couldn't find anything. I was like, what is going on? I thought just something had changed, and I went. There usually is a place where you can go and edit where those tiles appear on your screen. That edit function was also gone at that point. So it was a little bit concerning what was going on. And then a couple of hours later, everything went back to normal. So this is something that's going to be rolling out. You'll soon see, eBay says, refreshed layout and new features to the Seller Hub overview designed with your daily needs in mind, they say. We'll see this. They say this is based on feedback from sellers like you. We're working to make it easier for you to fulfill orders, stay on top of time-sensitive tasks, monitor listings, and focus on growing your business. This is the first step, they say, in a series of upcoming updates to help simplify and improve your selling experience. We'll have to wait and see what that looks like. Initially, the changes that I saw on my screen, there was one additional box or tile with some information in it that had not been there previously, and then that went away a couple of hours later, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let me know in the comments what your opinion of it is. I don't really have any issues with the Seller Hub as it is currently configured. I find it to be reasonably useful. I have edited mine so that the things that I really value and use on a daily basis are already at the top. So I'll be curious to see what these changes actually end up looking like. These changes, they say, will roll out gradually over the coming months. We're testing and refining based on your feedback, so you might not see the updates right away, but they are on the way. Our goal, they said, is to make selling easier, faster, and more efficient for you. We're bringing your most important actions front and center, like shipping orders, sending offers, and managing listings. With key tasks just a click away, you can stay focused, save time, and make a bigger impact with smarter insights. Don't worry, they say, the features you need most aren't going anywhere. We're simply making them more organized, accessible, and easier to use. I guess we will be the judge of that going forward. While you're adjusting to the new layout, we'd love to get your feedback on the experience. Let us know what's working and how we can improve. Providing feedback is simple. All you need to do is follow these 3 steps, and I will link to this in the show notes and the video description down below. Navigate to the Seller Hub overview page, locate and click the question mark icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, and under the Let Us Know section, click Send Feedback. What to expect next? Updates to the Seller Hub overview page, again, will roll out automatically. There's nothing you need to do. Take this opportunity to explore new modules and discover features designed to support your business goals. The changes will be available on desktop or your mobile web browser. So this is not coming yet to the actual mobile app. Again, they say we appreciate hearing any feedback, suggestions, or concerns you might have. Our goal is to make this transition as smooth as possible. There is a FAQ section here. Is anything being removed from the current page? They say links that are outdated or not widely used may be removed as we update the page, but no worries. Anything that might be removed in the overview will still be available in Seller Hub. If there's something you've used or you're used to seeing and you can't find it, let us know. We're continuing to refine this based on seller feedback. So there may be some things that you may use that many others do not, that they may be removing from that screen, and they'll be moving them somewhere else, apparently, within Seller Hub. Here's one. Can I switch back to the old version? No, you cannot. This is a permanent update to the Seller Hub overview, so switching back won't be an option. However, we're rolling it out gradually to ensure it meets the needs of all types of sellers, and if something isn't working for you, we'd really like to hear your feedback, they say. And lastly, will this affect how I ship orders or respond to buyers? No, your order and messaging workflows will stay the same. What's changing is how quickly you can spot urgent tasks like overdue shipments or unread buyer messages, so you can act faster and stay on top of what matters most. In my case, all of that stuff was already front and center, so I don't know how much more front and center they can actually make it. But there you go. The second thing they were talking about is transforming your offer management, what you need to know. We're introducing a new offers dashboard within Seller Hub, your central place to send, manage, and track offers more efficiently with enhanced visibility, automation tools, and bulk update options. It's never been easier to stay on top of your offers. We're also launching, they say, a performance tracking tool that will use historical data to help you optimize future offers Maximize your sales potential and identify growth opportunities. With a centralized offer hub and enhanced bulk offer management, you can save time and streamline your workflows. You can re-engage watchers or cart abandoners to close the deal while interest is high. You can manage all of your offers in one place, edit or end them with ease if you've automated them, which is another one that is rolling out kind of in phases. Some sellers have had it for weeks and have already done like tutorial videos on Instagram or YouTube. I actually just got that update on Friday of last week. I noticed when I went in to send some offers that that was now available to me. So this is another one that's kind of rolling out in stages. They say it'll be less effort and more sales. You can automate your offers to save time and help boost sales with less work. I've talked about that previously because I do really active markdown sales throughout the course of the month. Automated offers don't really work for me because I will make maybe a more generous offer on a full price item that I want to do on an item that I maybe already have at 20, 30, or 40% off. So if I have offers automated, I could end up sending out offers that I really don't want to in a given month. So I will probably still manually go through that process myself. If you're not using that tool to drive sales, then the automated offers may work well for you. In my business case, it's just not something that I'll be using. You can take control of your offers by unlocking the potential using the dashboard tools. You'll have central monitoring and insights. You can keep track of all active items with outgoing seller-initiated offers or pending best offers. You can access the performance metrics such as gross sales, number of offers sent and received, and buyer acceptance rates, which is interesting. You have efficient offer management. You can accept or reject offers directly from the dashboard using the intuitive review button, they say. You can sort offers by date and type, automated or manual, to manage workflows and end multiple offers simultaneously. So if you've set them up, you can, I believe, also set up a time frame where automated offers will only run for whatever you set, 7 days, 10 days, 30 days, whatever the number is. But if you decide you just want to end them all, you do have the ability to do that as well. Detailed item analysis. You can dive into each item to see offer activity, including, again, sent, acceptance rates, and sales generated. And then they offer smart tools and navigation. Utilize filters to identify items needing action or sort by acceptance rates for opportunities. Quickly find specific items using the search function. I feel like, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that, a lot of that is going to be aimed at people who have multiple quantity items. Someone who has a one-off. All of my inventory is essentially one-off. I've got one copy of a vintage book. So acceptance rates for offers on that book are not really relevant. But if I've got an item new in package that I either make or buy wholesale, and I've got hundreds of them, being able to track offer acceptance rates could be useful, and it could allow you to decide I need to make more offers or higher offers, or I'm selling more of these at a bigger discount than I want to. So some of those tools would work better, as is the case with most of them, for some sellers than for others. Next steps, keep an eye out for the new offers dashboard by the end of June. Like I said, part of it rolled out to me on Friday. I don't yet have access to all of these metrics that they're talking about yet, so that is still to come. You can access it via the Seller Hub to equip yourself with essential tools for streamlined management. Again, some FAQs. Can I bulk end offers? Yes, the enhanced editing capability allows you to bulk end offers for greater efficiency. What kind of metrics can I track? Gross sales from offers, the number of offers sent and received, and again, your acceptance rate. Is there a way to filter offers that need immediate action? Yes, they say. Smart filters will allow you to identify items requiring action or sort by high to low acceptance rates. And lastly, can I sort offers by the creation date or automation status? And again, the answer is yes. The advanced sorting feature allows you to sort by either of those options. So some really good tools coming to the offer section. If you are one who sends and or receives a lot of offers, this could be a really useful tool. I talk about it all the time. I send offers multiple times a day. Usually first thing in the morning after I've done shipments, I will send a batch of offers through desktop, and then throughout the day, I will send offers typically from mobile. So I'm sending tons and tons of offers, and being able to look and see I've sent 30 today, 40 today, whatever it is, will be useful information because right now I don't really keep track of it. So this could be an interesting set of tools. The next thing they have added, ship cover protection insurance for your shipments. What you need to know, ShipCover gives you an easy, cost-effective way to insure your USPS shipments, both domestic and international. It's designed, this particular version of it, exclusively for eBay sellers. It's a robust, they say, shipping insurance, fully integrated in with your seller hub experience, and ensures that your shipments are protected during transit. When you buy a ShipCover plan, you get even more coverage for your shipments, giving you peace of mind so you can focus on running your business. Just make sure you use USPS and buy your labels through eBay labels to be fully covered. Most third-party shippers also have some sort of insurance program. If you want to use it, I've talked about it here in the past. I use Pirate Ship, and they do offer a similar service. So if you want to insure packages that you're either exceed the value of the insurance that comes with USPS Ground Advantage, which is $100, or you're sending things out media rate, which I do a lot, that don't have any coverage at all. Again, they say you get peace of mind. You work hard to provide your buyers with excellent service, but sometimes shipping accidents happen. ShipCover offers full coverage for lost and damaged shipments, protecting against "where's my item" inquiries and keeping your business in good standing so you can focus on the important things. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. If the item doesn't arrive, the item still hasn't arrived, and you're still going to get that inquiry. Having it insured is just going to cover you so that you can reimburse the customer for their lost money without losing money yourself. So I'm a little skeptical about that claim. Those kinds of questions are still going to come if a package goes missing. Now, to be fair, again, I've talked about this in my case. I have sent out between eBay, Mercari, Etsy, and when I was doing a little bit of Bonanza and then whatnot, I've probably sent out 30,000 packages over the last 5+ years. And I have had now 2 total that did not ultimately get to their destination that I had to provide a refund on. So I don't have a significant issue with this. Let me know in the comments. Is this something that you frequently have? I do. Again, for those more expensive items, I will pay the $1 or $2 for the extra insurance just to make sure. But I've only had just those 2 items, and one of them was super cheap. It was like a $12 book, and the other one was a $19 or $20 book. So it's not like I was out hundreds of dollars. I would not have bought insurance on those items anyway. But let me know in the comments down below. Is this a problem that you have with any of the carriers that you use where packages are ultimately not getting where they're supposed to go? It offers comprehensive coverage. It covers up to $15,000 on domestic shipments and up to $10,000 on international, so you get even more coverage for your money. Claims are paid within 7 to 10 business days, meaning you can rest assured that you and your buyer will be compensated in a timely manner for any lost or damaged items. I should also point out, I haven't had any items really, maybe one in all that time, that arrived damaged that I had to do any kind of refund on. So I've been pretty fortunate here. Plus, they say it's easy to file a claim and check the status of the claim in my eBay and Seller Hub. For more info, click the link. Again, this will be linked in the show notes and the video description down below. Last thing, and this one sparked quite a bit of controversy among the auto parts and accessories sellers. Again, being sold as a way to boost buyer trust with a new parts and accessories returns policy. I'm curious if this is not leaning into potentially making sellers open up their returns policy. I talked a little bit about returns in a video I did last week on managing your stress. If you haven't watched that, please go check that one out. What you need to know, we're on a mission to make eBay the top destination for buying and selling parts and accessories based on buyer feedback. I talked about in that video on Friday, the buyer-centric ecosystem on eBay. And here you go again, based on buyer feedback. Easy and free returns plays a crucial role when choosing where to shop. To better meet these expectations and give you a competitive edge, we're updating our return policy for eligible parts and accessories listings by offering free returns. Again, this may give eBay a competitive advantage. But when they require every seller to do it, it does not provide any competitive advantage for you as an individual seller. You are now competing with all sellers who are all offering the same return policy. So again, that kind of statement, while maybe true to some extent, is maybe a little disingenuous. They say, we're here to support you. So this is some good news. At least we'll automatically subsidize these return label costs by 50% going forward. So with this program, you're going to have to offer free returns in that category. But eBay is saying that they will pay half the cost of the return label. So I guess that's something. Starting July 15th, parts and accessory sellers will be required to offer a minimum of a free 30-day return policy, creating a smoother and more consistent shopping journey. This streamlined policy helps eliminate confusion so buyers can have a hassle-free returns experience, strengthening their trust both in your business and in eBay. Parts and accessory sellers were, of course, up in arms about this, saying they're going to get back used parts, bad parts, the part that was broken that the customer ordered the new one to replace, all kinds of things that could go wrong with this. It is, again, this is a precedent that's been set by larger companies with these very lenient return policies, and it is trickling down now to smaller, like mom and pop sellers who are not always financially equipped to handle it. I'm a proponent. I offer free 30-day returns, partially to get the top rated seller plus status and the discount on my fees, but also because I'm in a very low returns category and I can justify doing it. Plus, as I said in the video I did Friday, it just reduces my stress because I know I'm not going to have to fight with eBay over returns. Are you concerned about offering free returns? We've got you covered. While offering free returns can help boost your sales and have a positive impact on your business, we understand that you may have concerns. That's why we're taking these steps to support you. Again, it's a 50% reduction in the label cost applied automatically to ease return shipping expense when you use eBay labels. So you do have to use their labels. They will continue to offer seller protections. We're continuously monitoring buyer fraud to ensure we have stronger safeguards in place to protect your business. If you are a seller in the parts and accessories category, let me know. What's your experience been with support and protections against fraud? Targeted marketing campaigns, we're promoting free returns to help attract more buyers to your parts and accessories listings. That will probably not be real popular either, to be fair. I know there was a big controversy. eBay was putting front and center right on the front page about hassle-free returns. So that's never great. Parts and accessory listings are required to offer free returns. If they meet the following criteria, you'll be required to participate. The item is listed on eBay.com and is located in the United States. It's being shipped to a buyer in the United States. The price of the item is over $10. The item is new or new other, and it is a fixed price buy it now listing. Starting July 5th, you'll need to update your applicable parts and accessory listings to offer free returns. Going forward, you'll benefit again from that 50% subsidized label. They are pretty stoked about that. That's like the fourth time in this note that they've mentioned it. Additionally, we will begin automatically updating eligible listings that are live to reflect this new return policy. So it sounds like that's a bit of a mouthful because it says you need to update your listings and then it says they're going to begin automatically updating them. So I'm not sure. Hopefully there'll be a little more clarification on who actually is going to be responsible for the updating. If you're using business policies, you should be able to probably just go in and make a change to the business policy and capture all that. But there you go. Which categories are excluded from the updated return policy? There are some listings in categories that are excluded from this new return policy and are not required to offer free returns. That includes wheels, tires, tire and wheel packages, other wheel and tire parts, auto transmissions, manual transmissions, complete engines, door panels, hood panels, airbags, listings with local pickup only, and listings where shipping uses freight services. So this is essentially for smaller accessories that would be shippable through the United States Postal Service, apparently. When will the subsidized eBay return labels be available and how can I use them? Those labels will be available for eligible returns once this policy takes effect on July 15th. They'll automatically be applied and you'll only be charged the 50% cost of the label. Do I have to use eBay to generate shipping labels? No, you can upload your own, but that 50% reduction is not applicable to non-eBay labels. Is the eBay label applicable to all types of returns? It only applies when the buyer changes their mind after purchasing an item and wants to return it. If the buyer wishes to return an item because it doesn't fit their vehicle, we'll cover the cost of the return shipping under eBay's guaranteed fit. If the buyer reports that the item arrived damaged or doesn't match the listing description, the seller will be responsible for the full cost of the return label. And here is where we're going to get into trouble, because buyers who have buyer remorse already do this. They just say that the item doesn't match the listing description or that it arrived damaged. They will just be, let's just call it what it is. They're just going to be dishonest because they don't want to be responsible for anything with this. And if they do that, you as the seller are going to be on the hook for the full cost of the label. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Again, if you sell in that category, what do you feel like your percentage is of items that get returned that are actual remorse returns that are selected as remorse returns versus that the item didn't match the listing description? Another FAQ, I already offer free returns. Can I still use the subsidized labels? Yes, you can take advantage of those starting July 15th for instances where a buyer changes their mind and an item that is under that policy. Can you opt out? If you're listing in the applicable categories, participation is required. Full stop. Free returns address a key buyer need in the parts and accessories industry, and we're confident this policy update will help grow your business on eBay. So there is no opt out on this. It will automatically enroll you starting on July 15th. What happens if I don't offer free returns on my eligible listings? Starting later this summer, listings that don't meet the new return policy will be blocked. They say to stay compliant and continue selling in that category, we encourage you to offer free returns and take advantage of the subsidized eBay labels. So there you go. If you're a parts and accessory seller in the automotive category, chime in the comments and let me know. I've seen posts on Reddit and in some Facebook groups, people pretty fired up about this in a negative way. Not fired up as in, ooh, I'm excited. Let me know what you think. Here's an interesting one. This is over on Value Added Resource. Liz posted about this over on Facebook, and I had already seen it in my own payments tab. eBay charges sellers ad fees months after sales in an apparent attribution snafu. This goes to the Promoted Listings General campaign. Sellers started reporting that eBay is suddenly back charging them for promoted listing ad fees months after sales were completed, asking once again, is it a glitch or some sort of unannounced policy change? A post in the community forums revealed the problem, as one seller said they were being charged fees for sales completed as far back as April. That was not me who posted that, but yes, I had 13 total sales that I received charges for dating back to April 3rd or 4th, so months ago. The note from the seller said, maybe this has already been answered, and I know not long ago there was a post about something similar, but try as I may, I couldn't find it this morning, June 6th. Notice I was just charged today promoted fees for an item sold April 12th and another for a sale on May 14th. Not disputing whether they actually sold by promoted or not, but how can eBay just gradually slide in fees well after these sales? Fees have always come out on the day of sale or payment. I have found that is not necessarily the case. I've talked about this before. I've had numerous instances where 3, 4, 5 days later, I have seen an attribution charge in my payment tab for an item that's already been shipped. So in theory, 99% of the time for me, it seems like it happens on, it's almost immediate. It's in my payments information with that sale that morning. But there have been times where I talked about it a few weeks ago. I had 2 items that were purchased in one transaction. One of them had a promoted listings attribution and the other one did not. And I said, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And 3 or 4 days later, certainly it did. I got charged for that. So there are some hangups there, but months is a bit of a stretch. They continued. Maybe this is just the first time I noticed eBay doing this, as sales on eBay have slowed down for the season. Whatever the case, does anyone have an answer or a guess as to what's going on? eBay's policy pages and reports for promoted listings say that attribution, again, can take up to 72 hours to reconcile. So the article says it's not uncommon for an order to come in without an ad fee initially, only to have it tacked on within a few hours or days. Again, I've had that experience. One time it was a week. So it has exceeded that 72-hour window. But this is the first time I've had anything that literally was months, clear back into early April. So that's not great. Other sellers chimed in, sharing they're also being charged fees for months old sales, some saying they had sales even going back to January, and that appears to have started sometime yesterday. So check your payment tabs if you're using Promoted Listings General. Like I said, I had 13. Here's a writer that said they had 10, another one that said they had 9 orders from as far back as April. Here's another one in April. So pretty messy. Several sellers said they contacted support and were told it was a widespread technical issue that eBay was working to resolve. This one says, I spoke to an agent about this and it's a glitch in the system. They're working to correct it and she assured me the fees would be reimbursed. Yes, she said it was widespread across the site. The way she talked, there have been many sellers reporting it. And I would say that's probably true because I saw it in multiple places, including on Facebook. Another seller, however, and here we go, with the left hand not doing what the right hand is doing over at eBay, another seller says support told them the fee should have been charged on the original sale and was legitimate, so no refund would be forthcoming. Again, illustrating how eBay's poor customer service, which often gives out confusing and conflicting information, compounds problems and makes already frustrating situations even worse. So there you go. One rep told one seller it was a problem and the fees would be refunded, and the other said, nope, this was attributions that we missed somehow through a glitch and they're legitimate and they will not be refunded. As of the time of recording, all of the ones that I was charged back for have remained charged back. I have not received any refunds. I frankly don't expect to be honest. I was just told by eBay it's a fee that just wasn't charged before on a sale and they can't do anything about it, but took note that I complained. So you may want to make a complaint too. Similar situation you may recall happened back in November of last year in Australia, where sellers were shocked by notice they would be charged for months old shipping and selling fees that eBay had failed to collect due to, again, a technical issue. We talked about that last fall. In some cases, it was massive, massive amounts, and they were actually going to essentially take payments from sellers over multiple months to recoup the amount of fees and shipping charges that had not been charged. So it was a much bigger mess in Australia than what this is. In my case, it was 13 odd listings, and I think it was less than $20 worth of fees. So it wasn't really a huge. I'd rather have that money than not, to be fair. But it wasn't anything like this situation that took place over in Australia last year. In 2022, eBay had another similar situation with final value fees not being taken out at the time of sale and instead being back charged as one lump sum months later. So if you haven't delved into your payment account in the last few days, you might want to take a look over there if you're using Promoted Listings General and see if you got hit with some fees that you were not expecting. Next up, and this is the last bit of news we've got for this week, Poshmark has announced they're dropping their verified seller program, and they've hinted also at the return of the Posh Pass shipping subscription. This article is over on Value Added Resource as well. They're dropping this program, and sellers suspect that the Posh Pass subscription might be returning. Sellers had been tapped to test out the verified seller program, which allowed items over 500 from select vetted sellers to bypass Poshmark authentication, boy, that's a mouthful, have been notified the program will end effective June 10th. So a couple days after you probably see this, we're reaching out to share an update, they said, on the verified seller program. As one of the select few in the Poshmark community who helped us test this feature, we wanted to personally thank you for your participation and give you a heads up about what's next. After closely monitoring the program's performance, we've made the decision, they said, to phase it out Instead, we're continuing to focus on our Posh Authenticate service, which we believe delivers the most value to both buyers and sellers. On a side note, I don't have an article for this, but eBay did announce they are opening an authentication center over in the UK this year. So these authentication programs are becoming more and more popular and are spreading to more and more sites and now to more and more countries. So if you're over in the UK, be aware of that. That is also coming from eBay sometime very soon. This verified seller program will be turned off on June 10th. After that point, all of your items that sell for $500 or more will automatically be routed to the Poshmark HQ for authentication before being shipped to the buyer. No additional steps needed from the sellers. We appreciate your support and partnership as we continue improving the experience for our community. They said, please let us know if you have any questions, and thanks for being an amazing Poshmark seller. Seller on Reddit said they also received an email indicating that they may be testing a subscription-based shipping program, but others were skeptical without the proof. Etsy has a similar program, their Etsy Insider program, where if you pay whatever that subscription is to be a member of that, you do get free domestic shipping. Interestingly, I had my first sale that I can recall under that program, and it was broken out in my fee list where the seller, or the buyer rather, received a full credit for their shipping cost. I was still paid the normal $6.13 for that particular item. So Etsy did pay that fee on behalf of that buyer who was in that program. So that's interesting, and we'll see if Poshmark is rolling something out like this. Is this a new service on the platform? I just received this message about free shipping on all sales and purchases for a flat monthly fee. I'm both a buyer and a seller, and this sounds like a righteous deal. Has anyone else gotten a similar message? The platform, you may recall, introduced a similar offering called Posh Pass back in October of 2024, alongside major changes to their ad fee structure, which, as you may recall, was a bit of a bust. That program was only offered to Posh ambassadors here in the U.S. and offered buyers a discounted shipping rate of only $5.95 on their purchases from those sellers. Poshmark was going to cover 100% of the difference in shipping costs for those in the pilot program until the end of last year, with the understanding that after that time, changes would be made to the program, and sellers who wish to continue to participate would likely be paying a fee for the privilege. That all went out when the fee change went away. I'm not going to reread all of the stuff about that program because it had gone away. Poshmark, again, they reversed course on the new fee structure after massive user backlash, as we've talked about here on numerous occasions. And that also ended the Posh Pass pilot test. It's not clear from the Reddit post if whatever Poshmark may be planning will still be a seller-paid subscription model, or it might be a switch to a buyer-paid subscription model, like what I just talked about over on Etsy. So there you go. That is our reselling news for this week. Let me know what you think of any of that, particularly if you are a parts and accessory seller over on eBay. Let me know your thoughts on the requirement that you offer free returns. My initial take on that is that it benefits eBay more than it probably benefits any individual seller. So I have mixed feelings on it. Again, I'm not in that category, so it doesn't directly affect me. But again, it makes you think that these are things, obviously, they're really big on you offering free 30-day returns. They try to incentivize you to do it through the Top Rated Seller Plus program and the discount. They're constantly pushing for that to be part of your business model. I do it. I'm fine with it personally, but I get why other sellers would make different choices. And I have this sinking feeling that this is the direction that eBay is going to head with this, that they are going to push for more and more free returns. So there you go. Let me know what you think. And if that stresses you out, I did a video last Friday on managing reseller stress. I will link to it somewhere up above my head here. If you haven't watched that, please go do that. On a personal note, I put a lot of time and effort into that video. It is probably the most production-wise, the most difficult video I've ever put together. I did a lot of research on that particular one. I was really happy with how that turned out. So if you haven't watched that, please go do that. I would appreciate it very much. I've gotten some good feedback on it as having been useful and thoughtful. So hopefully there's something there that you could find some benefit from. If you found some benefit in this particular episode today, hey, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching on YouTube, let the algorithm know this was a good use of your time. If you're not currently a subscriber to the channel or a member, you could consider doing that as well. If you're a podcast listener, consider following the podcast. With that, my friends, I'm going to wrap this thing up for this week. We will be back on Wednesday with our normal Wednesday live. Until then, my friends, it's time to sell. Thanks, guys. You have been listening to the Galaxy CDs Rocks and Flips Reseller Talk podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you again next time.